the community part of things, or like, building the community and so on, when did you start that? Did you start that after you have the product in hand and you have the website and so on? What was the kickoff time for that?
Oh no. Yeah. If you're waiting until your website is up and your product is ready to engage the community, then you're making a very big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, how could you know that you're building the right thing? So the very first thing before we actually made our social media accounts, a little while before the website was even up. And the reason was we weren't even posting. We had to post something so people kind of knew what we were, but it was mainly just to have conversations, and do customer research during the early days from October to January. So October 2023 to January 2024, I probably spent at least 3 hours a day, every day, just talking to people in this space about their experience, how they think about this problem, memories, stories that they have had. And the important thing when you're going through that is to not bring up your product. It is not about your product. It is about them. The second you start bringing up your product and asking questions about that, they will give you leading, dishonest answers, because we all want to make people happy and we want to please them. And so they will start telling you what they think you want to hear. So I think that was actually a huge role in setting the stage for us to have that viral glow up, starting last February, which has continued even through last week, a year later, was because when that initial post went up that ended up doing like 45 million views online, we only had about 600 followers online, but I would say half of those I had talked to for hours. And
Hmm.
so they all felt connected with it, and I had learned so much from them about how they would like to use this and the ways that it would help their lives.
Hmm. And then you did this customer interviews before you start posting anything, then in that case.
Exactly.
And were you
Yeah.
like showing a product to them or just explaining the concept?
Primarily not. Yeah, we talked about this idea that we were working on, because they need to understand that to have a reason to talk to you and open up. But then ideally, that's the last mention of the product from there.
Hmm.
It's just talking to them about, how do you get lost? What are your pain points in these areas? What's important to you? Because we could have made it something that was bigger and heavier, that could go a week on a battery charge. There were a lot of design decisions to make, and you just don't. You can kind of work around it a bit if you're targeting the right market for yourself. So something I'd say a lot is, people talk so much about product market fit, but far more important than that is founder market fit. Are you the right person to bring this product to this market? Because that's the most important thing. And it allows you to shorten the timeline in this learning, because you can, to an extent, do customer research just by writing in your own journal, because you
Yeah.
are in that segment. And so it makes things easier, but that can only take you so far. And so the customer research, all of these conversations over and over again were very important. But of course, you need to take them all with a grain of salt, because a lot of those conversations I had early on, especially with, experts in the space and investors, told me that this was a dumb idea. The customers didn't think that that was the case, but many people who you would classically pay more attention to said no one wants another piece of hardware. No one wants something to lug around with them. Why are you targeting festivals with this? I think the real market for this is defense applications. You need to be pursuing, grants from the government, etc. But the answer is, well, this is the market I know. And so we're going to focus on what we know, because I don't know anything about the defense industry. Maybe I could learn it in 3 years, enough to sell at a mediocre level. But we know this space, and that has proven very effective for us, because it allowed us to get all of this traction. And now we're in a position where we can make intentional steps into other markets from this beachhead that we've established.